Welcome back to the Raw Feed. It's an early edition, yes, and I'm Gary Franchi. We're streaming live to millions worldwide on YouTube, plus our Patriots on Rumble, as well as on X. So hit the share button right now. Text the stream to your friends. Let's bypass text algorithm together. X viewers, repost the show to your followers immediately. We need every American awake for what is coming. Speaking of staying connected, download the Next News Network app right now. Get breaking news alerts and exclusive content 24/7. Android users, grab it at the Google Play Store. iPhone, hit up the App Store. Links in the description. Now, what sets us apart here on the Raw Feed is we don't just report the news. We interact with you, our viewers, in the live chat. We want your reactions to today's explosive stories. So send in those super chats and Rumble rants right now. We'll be featuring them on screen between segments for the entire world to see. Even if you send them now, before we officially begin, we'll catch them. That's right, because your voice matters here. And if you want to support independent journalism fighting the good fight, hit those donation links in the description privately or show off your favorite news source with our merch at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We have got the gear that is ready to trigger all the liberals. Now, if you want to join our YouTube channel memberships, each level unlocks exclusive perks. You also get special acknowledgement in the chat, behind-the-scenes uploads, access to the Next News team, and our members-only 24/7 Discord. Real journalism needs real patriots backing it. So October 1st is the date today, but this date echoes through history. On this day in 2013, the Obama administration shut down the government over Obamacare. Democrats held America hostage then, demanding socialized medicine. Sound familiar? History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. Back then, Obama blamed Republicans while secretly celebrating the chaos. National parks closed, veterans locked out of memorials, federal workers used as pawns. Fast forward to today. Democrats are at it again, but this time it's even worse. They have shut down your government because Republicans won't hand billions to illegal aliens for free health care. Same playbook, different decade, except now we've got Chuck Schumer taking orders from AOC while federal workers suffer. And Pelosi's having meltdowns. But here's what's different. In 2025, we've got a president who fights back with memes. Trump isn't just writing boring press releases. He's dropping sombrero bombs that make Democrats shriek on the House floor. We're living in the age of meme warfare, folks, and Trump just went nuclear. Speaking of nuclear, Netflix is melting down as Elon Musk leads a mass exodus. The streaming giant thought they could groom kids with trans propaganda. They thought wrong. When the world's richest man says cancel, millions listen. Meanwhile, in the greatest victory yet, RFK Jr. just forced Walmart to dump toxic food dyes. Big Food's 40-year poisoning spree is ending. The same chemicals they claimed were safe are getting pulled from over 1,000 products. Your kids are finally getting real food instead of petroleum cocktails. And through it all, Democrats spiral deeper into violence and chaos. Teachers celebrating assassination attempts, governors burning tax money on Trump vendettas, Antifa running wild with police protection. Nancy Pelosi literally flailing when asked who runs her party. Today, we're diving deep into all 5 of these explosive stories. We will show you the tweets, the meltdowns, the victories, and the chaos. This is your show. This is your voice, and this is your movement. The establishment thought they could shut us down, shut us up, and shut us out. Well, they thought wrong. The revolution will be memed, streamed, and extreme. So stay locked in, stay loud, and let's expose it all together because the raw feed starts now. Let's welcome you to the show. We got Tracy in the house. Who else is here today? Pothead Kenny, sure you gospel. We've got the Deadhead in the house. Karen Myron is here. Karen Findley is here. One and only Ron the Don in the house. And a quick message I need to send to Brian. Okay. Who else is here? Nitro Burp, Michael Jones, Belinda, Damon Gore. What's up? Freedom Nugget. Freedom Nugget 74. Cindy in Buffalo. Go Bills. Kevin Nicholson. Linlin. Cambodia needs peace. I just actually got off the phone with Michael Alfaro right before the show. Big things happening. Kathleen Christensen. Elferisi. Eferis. What's up? Let's get to it. Over there on Rumble. Timmy is here. We've got Mrs. Pothead Kenny, sure you, Joseph Pearson's, Ohio, Dan Thompson's angry. All right, guys, we got news. I got to get through this news quick because I have to be somewhere tonight for a special engagement. Top secret. Let's get at it. Well, they've gone and done it. The United States government is officially closed, not because of a budget crisis, not because of a natural disaster, but because Senate Democrats are holding your country hostage over one insane demand. Billions of your tax dollars for illegal alien health care. While federal workers go without paychecks and military families wonder how they're going to buy groceries, Chuck Schumer bows to the radical left's ultimatum. And the press secretary today didn't mince words this morning. The shutdown belongs to the Democrats, period. What you're about to see is going to make you pretty upset. The tweets, the admissions, the pure arrogance as they sacrifice American families for foreign lawbreakers. Keep on watching. Now, gold, if you know, it's gone totally mainstream. You're seeing it everywhere. Prices keep climbing every day. More and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's simple, safe, and built for the long run? That is where Noble Gold Investments comes in. They are the specialists, and they're trained to help investors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You're going to get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and a U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it is their commitment. Visit nextnewsgold.com to claim your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com, because Noble Gold will help you build a stronger future. Or you can call them 877-646-5347. That's the number on the screen. So let's jump over to the White House real quick here. The press secretary announcing the government shutdown.
This government shutdown is no doubt going to impact everyday Americans, and it is the fault of the Democrats that we are in this position. And I know I relayed some programs that will be impacted. The vice president did as well, but I just want to make sure the American public understand what the Democrats have done to our government and our country. 1.3 million active duty troops will work now without pay. Critical food assistance for low-income women, infants, and children will now lapse. No new mothers or children are allowed to join this critical program because of the Democrats' decision to shut down the government. Telehealth services for seniors and in-home treatment options for Medicare patients will now come to an end. Nearly 50,000 members of the United States Coast Guard are going to have to work unpaid. Over 13,000 air traffic controllers will work without pay, as well as TSA agents, which will very likely create flight disruptions. And pay will now stop for over 150,000 federal law enforcement officers. These are not just numbers and statistics. These are real Americans who have families at home. And I saw some Democrat members today saying they're still going to accept their paychecks because they have 3 kids at home and they have mouths to feed. Well, so do these federal workers who those same Democrats just voted to shut down the government and turn off their pay. And we believe that's very unfair, and it's why the administration wants to see the government reopened. The
Democrats are working right now to destroy the United States of America, to cripple everything that makes us great, to slow down President Trump and all of his momentum. By shutting down the government, this is what will happen. But of course, Nancy Pelosi, she is absolutely triggered because a reporter asked if AOC is calling the shots. You see, AOC is their rising star in the Democrat Party. She's making a lot of noise, no doubt has presidential aspirations. And, well, let's just go to Pelosi. Look at her. Look at how animated she is.
She's directing. There was a thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any credibility to that?
She's not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real team player.
She was about to say a real pain in the ass is what she's saying.
And the rest of that. You started by saying Republicans saying that she's directing this. She is not. Hakeem Jeffries is. And this takes a lot of experience, a lot of unity from the caucus in terms of the point of view. And that's what this is. She's an articulate spokesperson for her point of view, Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem. Yeah, bring it up. Hakeem is the guy, right? Stephen Chung, who is one of the top dogs over there at the White House, 2 hours ago, posting this, Democrat shutdown. And he was quote tweeting Fox News. Check this out.
I just want to get to that. The Senate is now finished with that procedural vote on the House-backed Republican proposal. And this has to do with breaking the filibuster because they want to get to funding the government. At least I hope Democrats want to get to that. I don't know. Theirs failed earlier, and this was the Republican vote. We don't expect these to necessarily pass. But remember, you get to see who's on the record, particularly among the Dems, who's going to pull over. Democrats lost a couple of votes yesterday on this. It's 55-45 in terms of yeas and nays on this one. 2 Democrats and 1 independent voted with Republicans yesterday, and that seems to hold again now. So that's particularly what I'm watching for. Senator John Fetterman, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, and independent Angus King of Maine are still yeses. So they're voting with Republicans on their version.
Wow, Fetterman voting with Republicans. Oh. Man, that guy's growing on me. Kind of like that lump on his neck. Remember that?
Of a continuing resolution at this point. This while the government remains shut down. Democrats I don't know what they'll do next, but if they continue to lose members, you got to get to 60. So we are watching this very closely. Majority Leader John Thune is forcing these votes today and will likely continue to do so in the days ahead in an effort to get Democrats to open the government, but also get them on the record for not wanting to participate in keeping the government open.
What else have we got for you here? We got more from the press secretary. An amazing press conference today. J.D. Vance showed up unexpectedly, and that was remarkable. But let's get to the press secretary here. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, and it's because the Democrats have put us into this position. If the Democrats did not vote to shut down the government, we would not be standing up here talking about layoffs today. We'd be talking about all the other news stories going on in the world and our country. We'd be talking about all of the great things that this administration is doing to uplift Americans across the country. But
Yep, see, I just told you. I just called it. You see? By having the government shut down, it takes over the narrative, and you can no longer present the great things that President Trump is doing. Oh, this is all by design.
Fortunately, the Vice President of the United States and I have to come out here today to talk about a government shutdown that the Democrats put us in this position. And sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. And
here's more from the press secretary. Democrats shut down the government because
Democrats in Congress have officially shut down the United States government. House Republicans passed a nonpartisan, clean piece of legislation to extend current government funding until November 21st. But nearly every single Democrat senator voted against this bill. To be clear, this was the exact same bill that Democrats approved 6 short months ago in March, just adjusted for inflation. This is the same kind of clean funding bill that Democrats passed 13 separate times when they held the majority during Joe Biden's administration. So the American people woke up this morning and asked the obvious question: why is the government shut down right now? The answer is pure partisan politics being played by the Democrat Party. The Democrats shut down the government because President Trump and the Republicans will not force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegal aliens. America is $37 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to provide taxpayer-funded free health care to illegals who broke the law to enter our country. To put this all into perspective, the Democrats refused to keep the government open over health care to illegal aliens and now have jeopardized critical health care programs for American citizens instead. The Women, Infants, and Children program, community health center funding, Medicare treatment options, and other health programs are now all at risk because of the Democrats rejecting the clean CR. The most vulnerable in our country are being punished because the Democrats want to prioritize illegals over American citizens. And if Democrats actually cared about health care, they would applaud the actions taken by President Trump just yesterday in the Oval Office. He took a bold and massively popular action to improve our healthcare system. He announced the first agreement with a major pharmaceutical company, Pfizer, to lower drug costs for Americans. This is a historical achievement long sought by past Democrat presidents that only President Trump was able to get done. Democrats in Congress.
President Trump getting things done, but the Democrats want to lock it all up. Here's more from the press secretary just a few hours ago. The American people want the government reopened.
Sean O'Brien, individuals and organizations across the political spectrum, across the country, agree with the Trump administration and Republicans. The labor union leader, the Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, sent a very blunt message to Democrats over their destructive antics. He said American workers are not bargaining chips. Senators need to stop screwing around and pass the House-passed clean short-term funding bill. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the world's largest business organization, called to immediately pass the Republican Clean CR, saying, quote, shutdowns are harmful to the economy, the American people, and our national security. And even Democrat Senators Cortez Masto and Fetterman acknowledged that their party is betraying the American people with this costly and chaotic Democrat shutdown. Enough is enough. Democrats need to stop sabotaging our country and holding the American people hostage in the country. Democrats need to do their jobs. The American people want the government reopened, and this is proven in a New York Times poll showing that 2 in 3 Americans say the government should not be shut down by the Democrats, even if their absurd demands are not met. The president and Republicans are working very hard to reopen the federal government. The vice president here has been crucial in this effort. We encourage all Americans across the country, call your Democrat senators and encourage them to reopen the government. That's what President Trump and the vice president want to do. And individuals and organizations.
But of course, kids who are trying to go on tours of the Capitol building or anything like that, they're going to get locked out, right? Can you imagine all those crying children? The American people want it open. They've shut down. Here's Vance.
That they care a lot about. Democrats say that they care a lot about lowering health care costs, and yet when the president took historic action to work with the drug companies to lower prescription drug prices, the Democrats did nothing to help us. In fact, we would have loved to have the Democrats helping us, but they didn't. They talk about doing something. They don't actually do the hard work of making it happen. What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to health care funding for illegal aliens. That is what has actually happened. To the American people who are watching, the reason your government is shut down at this very minute is because, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government because they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for health care for illegal aliens. That's a ridiculous proposition. Democrats.
You know what's crazy about what he said there? And I caught it. He said Schumer and AOC, right? He basically, he didn't say Hakeem Jeffries. He didn't say Pelosi, right? And that's why Pelosi was so triggered, because everybody knows it's the radical wing of the Democrat Party that's pulling the strings behind the scene. The old guard Democrats have lost all their ground. That's why the Democrat Party is going totally insane with all of the woke nonsense. And of course, healthcare for illegals. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. And they're actually fighting for this. That's one of their stipulations to keep to get the government open. Wow. Here's more from the vice president.
Agreements. We all understand that Democrats and Republicans have policy disagreements. The Democrats want to do things. Look, when Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries were in here a couple of days ago, they made some suggestions that the president was more than happy to say, yes, let's sit down and talk about how we can solve the health care crisis that we inherited from the Biden administration. But it's one thing to say that we should solve the health care crisis for Americans. It's another thing to say that we're going to shut down the government unless we give the Democrats every single thing that they want, which, as Caroline says, includes giving billions of dollars of taxpayer funding for health care for illegal migrants. That's ridiculous. You don't have policy disagreements that serve as the basis for a government shutdown. Let's have the conversation about how to fix American health care, about how to make health care more accessible. As the president showed, he's more than willing to act on behalf of the American people for this very reason. What you don't do is say, unless you do exactly what we want to do as congressional Democrats, we're taking a hostage. And the hostage, it turns out, is critical, essential services that the American people need. Caroline talked about some of it. Let me talk about some more. Our troops are not getting paid starting today because of the Chuck Schumer wing of the Democratic Party. We have people who require food assistance, low-income Americans who require food assistance, who will not get it unless we reopen the government, thanks to Chuck Schumer and his wing of the Democratic Party. We have flood insurance as we start hurricane season in the southeastern part of our country. That flood insurance is going to disappear because of Chuck Schumer and the far left of the Democratic Party. We need to reopen the government. Let's fix America's problems. Let's work together to solve them. But let's reopen the government before we have our negotiation about health care policy. That's what the American people demand, and that's certainly what the President of the United States wants.
J.D. Vance on fire today in the press briefing room. Democrats now have a 16% approval rating. Their solution: shut down the government because they want to give illegals free health care. Cat Turd was being quote tweeted on this woman who has a different opinion.
Democrats are fighting. When Republicans tell their MAGA voters that Democrats are fighting for health care for illegal immigrants. I mean, does that make sense to them? What would be the upside? I'm one of the people the Democrats are fighting for their health care because I'm on the Affordable Care Act, because I own a small business and I have for 15 years. I'm actually working right now in my garage, packaging things up. It's not a glamorous job. And I get my health care that I can afford for my family off the Affordable Care Act. And the premium is about to go up 85%. Why would Democrats be fighting for health care for illegal immigrants? People who are here undocumented. Those people are afraid to go to work right now. They're not going to hospitals and doctors' offices, and it's already illegal for them to get health care through Medicaid. That's not something that exists. And they're rounding these people up and sending them out of the country. What would be the upside for Democrats to fight for that? I mean, I just want to know, how does that make sense to them? How do they just hear that and believe it? Democrats are fighting for health care for U.S. citizens like myself and many other families.
Clearly, she is disillusioned with the Democrats' own position. Here we have, check this out. Here's Ro Khanna. Mama Bear writes, confirmed the Democrats are asking for money to fund illegal health care. No, Americans first. Quote tweeting Eric Darty. Holy crap, Representative Ro Khanna says the quiet part out loud. Listen carefully. The amount of money actually going towards people that are undocumented is a small portion of the Medicaid cuts for the ACA. He just outright confirms it.
Citizens. In terms of health care, the reality is they're just not being honest. The amount of money that actually is going towards people who are undocumented is such a small portion of the Medicaid cuts or the Affordable Care Act, if at all. And so we can argue that point, but the reality that even the vice president would acknowledge, that anyone who looks at the numbers will acknowledge, is 90 to 95% of the funding we're talking about is talking about funding for American citizens. In terms
so
of
what about the other
healthcare,
5%? Huh? Help me understand that, Ro. Help me understand it. Oh, here's more J.D. Vance. He was on Fox and Friends this morning.
Have travel to the potential effects of the government shutdown. Mass furloughs, federal employees and active duty military members don't get paychecks. We have travel delays. You mentioned TSA, Social Security and SNAP and WI and WIC applications, delays in Medicare and Medicaid payments, some VA services and career counseling. So these are some of the things that will happen. Smithsonian could be closed, National Zoo. I hope someone feeds the animals, but we're not going to be able to see the animals. The potential effects of the government shutdown.
Okay, of course, that was J.D. Vance didn't say anything there. That was Brian Kilmeade. Here is, of course, Chuck Schumer on CNN.
Shutdown. Every Republican who's gone on TV the last 12 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name? Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
I was just going to say, they shut the power down on Capitol Hill. But I jest. Hakeem Jeffries has no answer when asked by CNN how the Democrats will end their government shutdown.
But what is the exit strategy here from a shutdown? Because once the government is shut down, which it will be in 2 hours, how do you get out of this? There's one Democrat who told CNN there is no way to play this shutdown game and win. And Democrats know that because Republicans, for the last several shutdowns, have been the ones playing this game. So how are you going to get out of it if we are in a shutdown?
Again, correct me if I'm wrong in terms of the Republican perspective, but Republicans have been lecturing America all year that they control the government and that they're jamming their policy preferences down the throats of the American people. So how is it the case that at this particular moment in time, they're suddenly at the mercy of Democrats who are in the minority in the House or in the Senate when Donald Trump has consistently behaving like he's all powerful?
But what is the exit strategy?
we need 60 votes. Okay? We have a clean continuing resolution, and you guys won't shift enough votes over to get that continuing resolution passed. So that is how you, Hakeem, are holding the U.S. government and the American people hostage. So just because the Republicans hold the executive, the judicial, the legislative, it's irrelevant if the votes aren't there. So nice try, buddy. Nice try. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this shutdown exposes the Democrats' true priorities. Illegal aliens over American citizens. Every unpaid federal worker, every military family scraping by, every delayed Social Security check, that's on Chuck Schumer and his radical puppeteers like AOC. They'd rather see America burn than deny free health care to border jumpers. 2/3 of Americans demand the government reopen without these insane demands, yet Democrats dig in deeper. They call it compassion. I call it treason. When you put foreign lawbreakers ahead of the citizens who pay your salary, ahead of the military who keeps us safe, you've gone and broken your oath of office. So the question is simple, and I'll pose it to you. Should American taxpayers be forced to pay for illegal alien health care while their own families go without? Drop a yes or no. Let's have a conversation in the comments. This is the hill the Democrats chose to die on, so let them. And while they play politics, you can check out our merch shop. It's still open. It's linked below. You can wear your patriotism proudly because America first means America first, period. Wow. Okay, a couple super chats to acknowledge here. Dan Thompson, I lost my happy thoughts. Oh, Daddy Crab dropping $2. Love you, Gary. Love you too, Daddy Crab. Dan Thompson became a member today. Welcome to the family. Karen Myron, we need to insist on a law that Congress get no pay whenever government closes. That would make them move quick, wouldn't it? And Daddy Crab coming back with another 2-spot. Schmucky, AOC, and Jeffy are gangsters. I can see that. But now we've got to move into the meme warfare that is happening right now. Right meow. The President of the United States has become the undisputed lord of the memes. And guess whose memes he's wielding like tactical nukes? Ours. Next News Network. Yes, we created them. Trump deployed them. And now Democrats are having complete mental breakdowns on the House floor. From the Chipocalypse Now to the sombrero saga that broke Representative Teresa Fernandez's brain, we are witnessing something unprecedented. The most powerful man on earth is bypassing the corrupt media with our viral weapons. And when your memes go from our newsroom to the White House to worldwide headlines in hours, you know the game has changed forever. The establishment can't handle it. They're screaming, they're crying, they're melting down. You're about to see why. So keep on watching. And just like Trump weaponizes memes to bypass the corrupt media, you need to bypass the Medicare confusion industrial complex. Medicare is confusing by design. Endless mailers, fine print, and pushy sales calls meant to keep you in the dark while they profit. Most seniors end up on the wrong plan without even knowing it, costing them thousands yearly. And that is where Chapter comes in. Chapter makes Medicare simple. In less than 20 minutes, they will compare over 24,000 plans nationwide. No propaganda, just facts. Seniors save $1,100 on average. Chapter's advisors are independent, salaried, not commissioned, working for you, not the insurance companies. While Democrats melt down over memes, you can take control of your health care costs. The annual enrollment period is here. Don't let confusion tactics win. Call Chapter. The number is on the screen, 910-728-4109, or you can visit the link that's in the description, askchapter.org/next, or call that number 910 728-4109 right now. Beat the system like Trump beats the media with smart strategy. Okay, you ready for this? Donald Trump on a tear last night. Okay, we've got so much to break down, but I think what he posted this. Now, this is not even a meme, but this is an epic troll right in the Oval Office. There you see Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and what is sitting there on the Oval Office desk? A couple of gifts for them both. What does it say? Trump 2028. He just gave him two hats. Trump 2028. And then maybe it looks like maybe Diet Coke or something. How about that for an epic troll? President Trump posting that on Truth Social and then posting it on his X account. Now this, of course, this was posted 24 hours ago. And this is probably the most thermonuclear meme I've ever seen the President of the United States ever post. You've probably seen it a dozen times, but it's just so good. It's so spicy.
Hate us. Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too. Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it.
That is one of the greatest memes ever conceived. And, of course, people melting down all over the world. You know, you got Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero with a fake mustache. I mean, the disclaimers they're putting on television for this, like, oh, my goodness, it's actually a meme. It's AI generated. No kidding. No kidding. Anyway, whoever made this, I did not make this. God bless you. God bless you. President Trump is paying attention. Sean Farash writes, the Schumer siesta is upon us. Crying Chuck and El Hakimo Jefe Jeffries shut the government down over their demands to give illegals free health care. Plus, they hate sombreros. I mean, the memes are just coming out, and they're gorgeous. Now, I do have to bring up this because the President of the United States did share this meme. And we actually quote tweeted, I said, I still can't believe the President of the United States is posting our spicy memes. Oh, yes. Donald Trump right there. And what's funny is, like, Variety covered it. See, what happened is Trump actually posted that meme about 48 hours ago. He screenshotted our tweet and then took our tweet and put it on Truth Social. And then, after that moment, Variety comes out with this headline. Variety gets triggered. Trump celebrates YouTube settlement with meme depicting a humiliated tech exec handing him a check for $24.5 million. Trump fought for free speech and won, the president's post says. No, that was my post, Variety. And the humiliated tech exec is the executive of YouTube. So what happens next? After that, just last night, after we finished the show, I got a text message from Grand Old Memes, one of the great meme smiths of our time, of our age, I should say. He sends me this post. Donald Trump sharing the image directly on his X feed. So this wasn't just a post on Truth Social. This was actually a post that President Trump, it's like, I visualize this. Like, the only way President Trump could have got this image is he literally had to go to our X page, our X profile, and then download the image directly. Because previously he screenshotted it. So President Trump is hanging out on the Next News Network X feed, scrolling through, and he goes, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and copy this one now and post it on X. Because think about the flow, right? He opens up, initially opening up, taking a screenshot, and then shares it to Truth Social. But in this case, if he's on X, what happens? He's already on the platform, hits save, and then posts it to his X feed. Now, while this is happening, we have a live stream that's going on. So our raw feed show is live. And this is what's wild, is that President Trump posted another meme to his profile. And where is that? I'm looking for it here. Okay. So do we have the actual... well, it's similar. This is basically the meme.
Republican, we are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Okay, so that was President Trump ended up posting that video on his Truth Social account last night. And what's crazy is that we played this meme just last night, around the exact same time that President Trump posted it to Truth Social. So President Trump's hanging out, watching our live feed, sees the meme, goes, I need that meme. I need to steal that meme. He steals the meme and goes over to Truth Social and posts it. President Trump is a big fan of the Next News Network. And we thank you, sir. We are here to serve you. Okay, so, but now the memes are they're piling up now because the Democrats are so triggered. I mean, even in the press briefing room today, J.D. Vance was asked about it. Oh, okay, here, you know what? Here, I found it here. Okay, before I get to that, this is what, no. Sorry, I didn't find it. That was the original meme with the one I just played for you. Here is what J.D. Vance said in the press briefing room when asked about the memes.
Positions and even...
So the president's been posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer.
I saw.
Recently. You've said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that. Now,
so the president's been...
The sombrero memes will stop. I don't think so. But of course, who could forget this moment when President Trump posted this meme that we created? It ended up worldwide on the front page of the Drudge Report. One picture, we posted it, Trump saw it, the White House amplified it, the media and Democrats all melted down. President Trump is paying attention, even got asked about it at the White House when we posted it in early September, and he shot down Yamanshi, Alcindor.
Yeah, that's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would
I
you
don't
the
go to
Department
war.
of Defense?
Listen. Be quiet. Listen, we're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
So this is a USA Today post. President posting an AI-generated meme. There's my meme. USA Today, referencing the scene from the movie Apocalypse Now. And officials and residents are speaking out against federal troop deployments in Chicago. That's why I made the meme. Dick Durbin said Trump should focus on jobs, high measles cases, tariffs, and Epstein files instead of a post on X. Brandon Johnson, the Chicago mayor, said we must defend our democracy from this authoritarianism by protecting each other and protecting people from Donald Trump. So it just triggered massive meltdowns Meme warfare is in full effect. Bo Snerdly, like, dude, people are just posting more and more memes. Check this out.
Supposed to be negotiating.
That's right.
And then what does that shameful man do? After a meeting where you're supposed to be working out details, where you're supposed to be negotiating a deal, you post something that draws a sombrero and a mustache on the leader with whom you're supposed to be negotiating.
That's right.
And then what does that
they are just triggered beyond belief. Oh, here's another one. Hakeem Jeffries doing La Cucaracha. Oh, and here's another one. Another one sombrero. Oh, they are just trolling. They are getting trolled so hard right now. This is thermonuclear meme warfare. We the people posting this, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries in sombreros. But of course, Democrats weren't offended by this. Remember that has-been who posted that picture of post with a decapitated head of Donald Trump? Yeah, that's not very funny. They had nothing to say about that. Does this offend you, though? President Trump, the greatest troll ever. He posted this, apparently, at some point. When was that? That was, it doesn't say the date. But another epic troll. Put him in a sombrero!
Creating a deal?
That's right.
And then what does that shameful man do? After a meeting where you're supposed to be working out details, where you're supposed to be negotiating a deal, you post something that draws a sombrero and a mustache on the leader with whom you're supposed to be
That's right.
And then what does...
Oh, yes.
Speak English, so they... Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too. Look, guys.
Oh, President Trump, God bless you, man. You've got the biggest balls, sir. The biggest, most glorious balls ever. This is our post-apocalypse now, triggering just as equally. September 6th, 2025 is when we posted that. So now we've been our memes have officially been posted by the president now. I mean, if you include the one about YouTube, that was posted twice, so within 48 hours, and then this one, so 3 times in a month. The president of the United States sharing our memes. Yes, we are providing the ammunition in the great meme war of 2025. And you're here for it. If you got value for this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. My friends, we've entered a new era of political combat where memes are more powerful than press releases. When the president of the United States takes our memes from the next news network and deploys them as strategic weapons, you know the old rules are dead. Democrats can't comprehend it. They're used to controlling narratives through corporate media like CNN and MSNBC, not getting demolished by viral sombreros. The vice president's promise to stop the memes if Democrats cooperate proves one thing. Humor is now a negotiating tool at the highest level of government. Sir, we need to call a truce in the meme war. Democrats will open government. We must call a truce, sir. The Democrats can't handle this anymore. Look, this is psychological warfare. And we're freaking winning. So here is the question. Do you think that Trump should keep escalating the meme war until Democrats completely surrender? Drop a yes or no in the comments. You see, the establishment spent decades building their propaganda machine, and Trump's destroying it one JPEG at a time. While they cry about cartoons, you can grab some Next News merch from our shop. Join the meme resistance, because the revolution will be hilarious. Yeah, baby. Okay, where are we at? Jeff Daniels dropping $1.99. He says, you are awesome, Gary. And I agree. Do you guys agree with Jeff? Just type in, I agree with Jeff. It's GEOFF. Escalate to nuclear meme war. Working angel. Okay, Dan Thompson coming back with another donation. $10. He says, you rock, Gary. Gary is awesome. Agree with Jeff. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I hope you guys are sharing our stuff. I really do. I hope you guys are out there sharing it, putting it out there. Brian works so hard behind the scenes. Todd works so hard behind the scenes. Our whole team, you know, we work our asses off every single day, and we cannot do this without you guys sharing the stuff, sharing the memes. See, we are the ones creating the weapons of the meme warfare, whether it's a meme or whether it's a YouTube video, an X post, whatever it is. You guys hold the power, and that's why we do this, because we want to give you guys tools. Okay, we got to find out what's going on here. Looks like Netflix is in a bit of trouble. Stephen Mills dropping $20. Where is... okay. Great to see people canceling Netflix. This is the last straw. Okay, so was that the only post that Elon said? Okay, that's the only post? All right. Netflix is hemorrhaging subscribers by the millions, and the world's richest man just lit the fuse. Look, we know you're probably not really going to cancel your membership. I mean, we get it. You've got shows to finish, but millions of other people are. They're pulling the plug after Elon Musk joined the revolt against their child-targeting propaganda. What started as parental outrage over gay dads putting toddlers in tutus has exploded into a full-scale corporate meltdown. The streaming giant that once ruled entertainment is now ground zero for the culture war. Stock prices are plummeting, executives panicking, and it all accelerated when Musk tweeted one word that changed everything. And you're about to see the tweets that triggered the avalanche, so keep on watching. And while Netflix pushes their agenda on your kids, millions of parents are focusing on what really matters, their health and their family's well-being. Just like you're protecting your children from harmful content, you should probably protect your body from aging. A meta-analysis of 23 controlled trials proved collagen supplements deliver real improvements in skin hydration and elasticity. That's why I trust Ageless Multi-Collagen. It's science-backed protection against aging. With 5 types of premium collagen, it helps reduce wrinkles and supports joint health. While you're cutting toxic entertainment from your life, add something beneficial. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com. The promotion includes free VIP health coaching for life, the 14 Foods for Amazing Skin ebook, a 60-day guarantee, and free shipping. Take control of what goes into your body, not just what goes into your mind. That website, again, is healthwithgary.com. Now, this is what started it all 24 hours ago. Look at the bottom of the screen there. Elon Musk writes one word, same, and starts an avalanche. He was 9mm SMG says, great to see people canceling Netflix. This was the last straw for me. Now, if you recall, this was the controversial Netflix film called Cuties, and it featured some very young girls doing some very provocative things. This was a couple years back. I've never seen the actual show, but it created an insane amount of outrage because of the adult themes that these children were engaged with. Elon Musk said, yes, that was the last straw as well. And now an avalanche. People are posting all of the crazy nonsense that people are seeing on Netflix. For example, Ian Miles Chong. Netflix is promoting woke gender pronouns and indoctrinating children with transgender ideology. These are shows meant for kids. Cancel your Netflix subscription. I'm not sure what show this is specifically, but let's see.
Everything okay, Fred? Well, the last time I saw my grandma, I used a different name and pronouns. That was before I discovered that it feels more like me.
Oh, so cartoon animals use a different name and a pronoun. Look at that. And this Netflix FAFO, they found out. Cancel Netflix. Of course, memes are flooding. The killer in real life, the killer on Netflix. How they race swap individuals. Here's another one. Eric, conservative, says, yes, I canceled Netflix. I cannot and will not hand money over to a company that is pushing this LGBTQRSTUWZ crap on children. Sorry, not sorry. I hope Elon Musk creates a competitor. That would be amazing. Okay, so quote tweeting lives at TikTok. Shows for toddlers on Netflix called Gecko's Garage shows kids joining an LGBTQ pride parade and waving pride flags to celebrate alternate made-up genders and transgenderism. Now, to be clear, this is children's programming. And if that's your thing, that's on you, man. You know? You want to participate in that life? Go for it. That is on you. That's between you and God. But don't put it in my kids' faces. That's all. That's all I have to say. And that's what they're doing on Netflix. Netflix, this is Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene just 3 hours ago. She says, absolutely disgusting. Netflix is pushing woke Democrat gender ideology and non-binary propaganda onto kids. My Protect Children's Innocence Act makes it a felony to do that to bodies under the guise of so-called gender-affirming care. What is this? This was another Libs of TikTok. Transformers Earth Spark. A kids show on Netflix is pushing woke gender identity propaganda on 7-year-olds. Okay, let's see what we have here.
Right, but what a wonderful word for a wonderful experience.
Place. It's hard to know who's dangerous or not.
That's true, though disappointing.
Hey, it's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Non-binary?
People who aren't female or male. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I always knew my pronouns felt right, but what a wonderful word for a wonderful experience.
Place. It's hard to know who's dangerous.
So they're promoting it there. Activists walk around completely naked at a pride parade on the streets of Toronto. Remember that? Can't even show you the video. So we have this from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is fighting back. Netflix is doubling down. Digigal writes, Netflix is doubling down on pushing woke and trans ideology at children. Parents should think twice before letting their kids watch. Even Elon Musk has had enough and canceled his Netflix subscription today. Time to cancel Netflix. Here's another show
saying something when I spent... It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. And I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier. And that's saying something when I spent today chased by terrifying zombie mascots. Pugsley reminded me how important it is to live your life without apology. So I think I gotta give living here a shot. Don't you?
You don't need my permission. I just wouldn't want Courtney as a roommate.
We'll be the best of friends!
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. And I can choose if and when.
Now, this, to be clear, this has been going on for quite some time. In fact, we called it out. This is back May 21st of 2024. Netflix caught grooming your kids on Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. No, actually, we first reported this on July 26th of 2022. Here's the scene. I'm going to show it to you. Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous has a lesbian same-sex couple. They hinted at it in season 3, developed the storyline through seasons 4 and 5, another kids show on Netflix. And I was actually watching this with my kids. And I could detect what was happening. I could detect that these characters were about to do something. You could feel the buildup. Let's hear my take on it back then.
Forward it, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous goes out with a queer roar. Netflix is notorious for pushing woke messages on children and teens. Now parents around the country are raising a stink over what they did at the end of their animated show based on Jurassic Park. Here is a clip from that. So, my children have been watching this show. They've been watching this season. I've been watching it with them. I've been enjoying it. Great storyline. And then all of a sudden, this shows up on the third to last episode of the season. And my wife and I are scrambling to fast forward it and trying to understand what's happening. Now we have to explain to our children, completely off guard, and blindsided. We were totally blindsided by this entire thing. I had to jump onto my phone. I had to start searching, and I found this article right here. Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous goes out with a queer roar. So we were watching the show, and then we could see what was about to happen, and that's when I found this article. Now my kids, they wanted to keep watching. I'm like, I can't believe we have to do this, and we relented and we continued watching, but we would fast forward it every time, and the only thing we could do is use it as a teaching moment. Children should not be subjected to this type of animated affection. In any capacity. Now, what's really interesting about this is that I looked up the rating for this. According to Netflix themselves, the series is rated PG, based on scenes of violence that parents may think is inappropriate for children. In other words, while the series is considered suitable for under 12s, there are scarier moments that could spook younger children. So right here at Radio Times, they're reporting that the show is perfectly fine. Now, is this something that you would allow somebody under 12 to witness? It's completely caught us off guard. We were watching every season, enjoying it with our kids, a family moment, and then we had to be subjected to this. And I'll tell you though, early on in the season, I could sort of sense that something might occur, but I just kind of brush it off as maybe they were just trying to placate to the LGBTQ community. But then it just came right out, full blown, and we were subjected to this. Now, my kids never saw this moment. I saw it coming. I fast forwarded through, but it was totally a blindsiding moment.
Now people are canceling their Netflix accounts. So we've been tracking this for quite some time, as you can tell, and it's now reaching a fever pitch. Elon Musk leading the charge to cancel Netflix. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, Netflix made a fatal miscalculation. They thought American parents would sit quietly while their platform pushed transgender ideology on toddlers. They thought wrong. When Elon Musk simply tweets the word same to cancellation calls, he didn't just endorse a boycott, he legitimized a revolution. Millions are voting with their wallets, and Netflix stock price is the casualty report. Now, this isn't about one streaming service. It's about corporate America learning that grooming kids has consequences. They can hide behind representation all they want, but parents see through the propaganda. I did. Coco Melon with drag queens, cuties still available, writers celebrating conservative deaths. That's not entertainment, that's indoctrination. So here's the question. Will you actually cancel Netflix or just complain about it online? Now be honest in the comments. Remember, the power is yours. Use it or lose it. While Netflix burns, support real American values with the Next News merch shop. Your kids deserve better than woke cartoons. Yeah. So I just remembered that we had covered that. Like, you know what? 'Cause I wasn't sure if it was Disney Plus or if it was Netflix. But yeah, clearly they are doing it. Stephen Mills dropping $20. Did I mention that already? $42.99. Yeah, baby. It's Wednesday. It's an early show, and you're here for it. Thank you. We got to get to what's going on at Walmart. Big news. Big news out of Walmart. We actually covered some of it a couple months ago, but now it is coming to fruition. Okay, Duplicate, sending 5 Next News Network member gifts. Thank you for that. All right. The impossible just happened. Walmart, the retail giant that feeds America, just surrendered to RFK Jr. and Trump's war on toxic food. Over 1,000 products are getting stripped of petroleum-based dyes and chemical additives. This isn't corporate virtue signaling. This is a forced retreat under massive public pressure. For 40 years, Big Food pumped these poisons into your children's cereal, their candy and snacks, while the FDA just looked the other way. They called it safe. They called it tested. Well, guess what? They lied. Now the dominoes are falling fast, and what RFK Jr. exposed about the food cartel's protection racket will shock you. The chemical cocktails they've been feeding your family are finally getting exposed. So keep on watching. Now, gold, though, has gone mainstream. You're seeing it everywhere. Prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Noble Gold specialists are trained to help investors just like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA or just want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process safe and simple and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments protecting and growing your wealth, it's not just their job, it's their commitment. Visit nextnewsgold.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com. Link down below, because Noble Gold is helping you build a stronger future. And they got a bonus for you for qualified accounts, 10-ounce silver flag bar and a 1-ounce silver eagle. Call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Tell Colin that Gary Franchi said hello. All right. So this was more big news today. The rollback is happening at Walmart. Back to basics, Walmart announced a sweeping overhaul, cutting synthetic dyes and 30 ingredients from its in-house food brands. Walmart getting rid of all food dyes on private brand labels after the Maha push, a major victory. Walmart is ditching all artificial food dyes. NBC News, Walmart to eliminate synthetic food dyes from the store brands. Here is what RFK Jr. said back in April.
An additive, and we're going to get rid of the dyes, and then one by one, we're going to get rid of every ingredient, an additive in school, in food that we can legally address. One of the problems is that the industry, which all of these industries, cast a dark shadow historically over this agency. And there's so many conflicts that we are now systematically eliminating. That has allowed them to suppress the science. There's shockingly few studies, even on food dyes, and on all these other ingredients as well. And Jay Bhattacharya, who is here and who is running the director of NIH, is now narrowly targeting these kind of food additives for scientific study, so that one by one we can start eliminating them where they can. And we are going to...
And Walmart now is on the case. They are removing the toxic food dyes. Here is more.
Fine. Now, Gutfeld made a point on the 5 today. He said, when I was growing up, I ate Fruit Loops for breakfast every day, and I turned out just fine. Now, I would argue he turned out like a maniac. He's hyperactive and deranged, but does he have a point? What are these food dyes actually doing to kids especially?
Yeah, well, if you look at the ingredients for Fruit Loops 20 years ago, it was very, very different than it is today. And today we use chemicals in Fruit Loops that are banned in virtually every country in the world. So if you buy Fruit Loops today in Canada, it is made with vegetable dyes. If you buy it here in the United States, it's made with petroleum synthetics. And as I said in that clip, nobody wants to eat petroleum. So when we went to meet with the food companies, I said to my staff, if they want to eat petroleum, they should put it in their food themselves at home. They shouldn't be feeding it to Americans who, without their knowledge, without their consent. And today we announced that we're going to get it out of the food. So there are 9 dyes, Jesse. 2 of them we're going to ban immediately, Orange Bee and Red Dye 2. We're going to accelerate the removal of Red Dye 3, so we're going to bring it down to under a year. And the other 6 dyes, within 18 months, we hope to get them out of all the food. And that's just the beginning. I mean, one of the problems is that the science about these additives has been systematically suppressed.
Wow.
For 30 years because the industry has been running this agency.
Oh my.
And we're getting rid of all of those conflicts. We've gotten rid of most of them. And we're going to do real science. God. And we're going to do science precisely on the issues that Americans care about. Making sure their kids are getting food that isn't poison. The food our kids are eating today is not really food. It's food-like substances. And some of it was made in petroleum refineries. And we need to give our kids real food again.
Now, Gutfeld made...
God bless RFK Jr. NTD posting this.
And Walmart has announced plans to remove synthetic food dyes and 30 other ingredients from its stores' brands in the U.S. by January 2027. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has encouraged the food industry to eliminate synthetic dyes by the end of next year. Walmart is targeting certain preservatives, artificial sweeteners, and fat substitutes as well. The nation's largest retailer said its goal would affect about 1,000 products, including salty snacks, baked goods, drinks, salad dressings, and frosting. Wow. In recent months, major food companies such as Kraft Heinz, Nestle, and Conagraga brands have pledged to eliminate synthetic dyes. Walmart said its decision reflects the availability of alternatives for maintaining product quality, taste, and affordable pricing.
And I remember when RFK Jr. announced the alternative. Check this out. Here is our report in March when RFK Jr. declared war on big food.
It's the federal government under Robert F. Good afternoon from
Gary Franchi outside the White House.
Outside the White House, I'm Gary Franchi, your chief White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And what you're about to hear isn't fiction. It's not satire. It's the federal government under Robert F. Kennedy Jr. finally turning its sights on the corrupt practices of big food. Now, for decades, chemical additives, petroleum-based dyes, and contaminants have quietly made their way into our meals, while the watchdogs meant to protect us looked the other way. But now, finally, there's a push from inside the government to expose the truth and clean up the system. Now, let's begin with the clip that kicked this all off. RFK Jr. drops the hammer on the food industry, taking aim at those so-called safe additives they've been sneaking into our meals for decades. Take a look.
The GRAS standards is a standard that was adopted in 1958. It was adopted because when FDA was created to regulate food, there were foods that were generally recognized as safe, GRAS, generally recognized as safe, like flour, like dairy, like eggs. And they didn't want to make companies test those products, so they created that designation. But that designation was expanded by an industry that began taking advantage of it so that any new chemical that they want to add to our food is generally recognized as safe and gets no review. That's why we have 10,000 ingredients in our food in this country. In Europe, they only have 400. And we have the worst chronic disease burden of any country in the world. So we are going to get rid of the GRAS standards for new products. We're going to go back and review all of these old ingredients to make sure that they are safe. And we're going to encourage these companies to get rid of them as quickly as possible.
GRAS, generally recognized as safe, was a regulatory joke. It gave food giants a blank check to pump your groceries full of chemicals as long as they called it safe. Well, Kennedy wants that loophole closed, and that's long overdue. Now, here's more proof that this isn't just talk. RFK Jr.'s HHS has officially launched a review of the food dyes many of us grew up eating. Watch this.
We want to do everything that we can to incentivize these companies to be transparent, to switch over from ultra-processed food, and to be part of this movement to make America healthy again.
Dr. Mark Siegel, Fox News senior medical analyst and professor of medicine at NYU Langone Health. Are Americans addicted to certain foods because of what's in them?
There's no question about that, because ultra-processed foods, Harris, are made to taste a certain way and to stay on the store shelves longer, and they draw you in both by their outrageous color that looks like they're from outer space in terms of children's cereals. And it was interesting that some of the makers of these breakfast cereals were at this meeting, and then once you're drawn in, they've got taste, high fructose corn syrup. You know, it's something you want more and more of, and it's also known as empty calories. And as RFK Jr. said to Hannity, and I know this perked up your ears because we talk about this on the show all the time, it leads to mental health issues because food is medicine, and you're actually giving food as medicine that affects mental health.
That is so critical. You and I have also talked about the weight issues that we have with so many Americans in this country and how that also can deepen the depression. So this is a vicious cycle if what you're eating is also, you're getting addicted to it.
Petroleum-based dyes, yes, the same stuff used to make GRAS are being fed to kids in cereal and candy. This is a public health disaster masquerading as a nutrition label. Kennedy's review could finally rip the mask off. And if you're wondering whether the public is finally getting some tools to protect themselves, well, this next update should give you some hope. Watch this announcement.
All right, we got some good news. Press release just came out. The HHS and the FDA announces a chemical contaminants transparency tool for foods. So essentially what this is that you can now go on a database online on the chemical contaminants transparency tool on the HHS or FDA website, and you can type in any food and you can see what the potential chemical contaminants could be. Now, obviously, this is an exhaustive list, but I think that this is the first step in providing transparency behind what goes into all of our foods. Now, this doesn't include bioengineered foods, which I think is something that needs to be moved on very quickly. I want to know exactly how much bioengineered food and feed there is in the foods that we're eating, right? We need first, second, third generation digestion, if you will. So, for example, what is an animal being fed? This is huge, though. But I think one thing that's important here is that you've got to look at this and understand that you might see some chemicals here. Some of them are naturally occurring in nature. They're going to be in all of our foods. But then look at the baselines, right? So just play around with this tool and look like up and down to see. I'll use mercury for an example. That's the first thing I go to because I think of seafood. And there's obviously mercury in some seafood, much higher levels of mercury in certain high trophic level or migratory fish that are going to eat down on the food chain. And then you've got smaller, virtually untraceable amounts of mercury. And then there's, of course, a government threshold of what's allowed in there. So when you click in mercury, you actually see that there's pretty much an equal amount of mercury in wheat as there is in all the fish that we're worried about consuming. So does that mean we need to get mercury out of wheat, or does it mean that it's just a traceable amount and that we're all kind of consuming the right amount? So I think what needs to stem from this new transparency tool is really explanations and the framework for making decisions as consumers. And then we need to make sure that a lot of the food manufacturers can't hide these chemicals. Now that we know about them, right? This is step one. Everybody's like, what has he done so far? It's only been 30 days. I mean, look at it's all about transparency. That's the first step, especially in a free market. I've said we don't want to ban foods left and right. What we need to do is we need to, of course, immediately ban the chemicals, the foods that we know are making us sick. And when we see science that says, no, these are healthy for you, but then you read the science and you understand that the science was funded by the food manufacturers that are putting those particular food dyes and synthetic ingredients in our foods, we need to start from an assumption that it's innocent, or it's not innocent, it's guilty, and then we need to prove its innocence when it comes to food, right? Because then we consume it for 20 years and we get sick. So that's one thing where just baseline, we got to get rid of the things that we know are making us sick.
Now, for once, Washington is giving Americans information instead of hiding it. Imagine that. A searchable tool to see exactly what toxins are hiding in your food. This is the kind of transparency that we've been demanding for years, but RFK Jr. didn't just review the science, he gave the food industry a warning shot. Now, this sums up the no-nonsense tone that his department is taking. Take a look.
We told them that we want the dyes out of the food. The science on the dyes is so overwhelming. They're making products now in this country that have the dyes in them, like Fruit Loops, for example. And you buy the same product in Canada and it doesn't have the dyes. You buy the same product in Europe and it doesn't have the dyes. So there are a lot of ingredients, and one of the things that we're doing is we've launched a review of the GRAS standards, and we're going to get rid of the GRAS standards for most products.
Now, that's not a suggestion, that's a direct order, and if these companies don't comply, it's clear Kennedy's not afraid to name names and take action. This could finally be the reckoning that the food industry deserves. So what does all of this mean? Well, for the first time in years, two of the most captured agencies in Washington, HHS and USDA, are actually cleaning house. Now, it's early and the fight is far from over, but the corrupt alliance between big food and federal regulators is being exposed in real time. And if RFK Jr. keeps pulling these threads, there's no telling what else may unravel. From outside the White House, I'm Gary Franchi. We'll stay on it because somebody has to.
Thank you for that report, Gary, from the White House. And clearly we are still on it. And RFK Jr. just made Walmart bend the knee. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what victory looks like. RFK Jr. didn't just talk about cleaning up our food supply. He forced the biggest retailer in America to bend the knee. 30 toxic additives out. Over 1,000 products reformulated. Petroleum-based dyes that poison generations gone. The FDA's corrupt GRAS loophole that rubber-stamped chemicals without testing, torched. Big Food thought they were untouchable, protected by lobbyists and bureaucrats. Wrong. When parents unite with leaders who actually care, mountains move. Walmart's capitulation proves the cartel can be beaten. They're scrambling because they know Kellogg's, Pepsi, General Mills, they're all next. The days of feeding our kids rainbow-colored poison are ending. So here's the question. Should Trump and RFK Jr. mandate removal of all synthetic dyes from American food within a year? Drop a yes or no in the comments, because this is just the beginning. While Big Food retreats, you can gear up with some Next News merch and show where you stand. Real food for real Americans starts now. Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll. Okay, no super chats to speak of. I won't eat Walmart food. Ew. Haven't shopped at Walmart in 12 years. Wow, the First Lady Melania Trump just posted on X. What did she post? What did the First Lady post? Let's find out. Melania Trump. What did she post? Redefining the role of the First Lady during the second term. That was 24 hours ago. Is there another account that she has? Was it maybe Flotus? The Flotus account? No. Okay. Let's move along to our final topic of the evening. I do have to rock and roll because I have a top secret meeting I have to attend to. Maybe I'll post something behind the scenes for you guys. Would you like that? Okay. The Democrat Party is collapsing into violence and chaos, and the evidence is everywhere. Teachers celebrating assassination attempts while union bosses defend them. Governors burning taxpayer money on personal vendettas. Portland police standing down as Antifa assaults journalists in broad daylight. Nancy Pelosi physically flailing her arms when questioned about party leadership. This isn't normal political discord. This is a party that's in complete freefall. Stephen Miller, he said it plainly, Democrats openly aid, encourage, and foment violence. From coast to coast, the examples are mounting. The desperation palpable. The breakdown is accelerating. What you're about to witness is the real-time disintegration of a major political party. The footage, the tweets, the meltdowns, it's all here. So keep on watching. And while Democrats descend into chaos and violence, smart Americans are taking action to protect what matters most, their future. Just like you're watching your country unravel under radical leadership, you need to safeguard your health for the battles ahead. A meta-analysis of 23 controlled trials proved that collagen supplements deliver real results, improve skin hydration, elasticity, and reduce wrinkles. That's science, not politics. I trust Ageless Multi-Collagen because in these stressful times, we need every advantage. 5 types of premium collagen support your skin, joints, and bones. While Democrats destroy everything they touch, you can rebuild yourself from within. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com. Includes free VIP health coaching, the 14 Foods for Amazing Skin ebook, 60-day guarantee, and free shipping. Don't let their chaos age you prematurely. Take control at healthwithgary.com. You'll find it linked down below. So, Nancy Pelosi melting down, Stephen Miller making the point. Here he is, Stephen Miller. The Democrat Party become the party that aids and encourages and foments violence.
The unspeakable. Well, the Democrat Party has become a party that openly aids and encourages and foments violence. You know, we all lived through the unspeakable tragedy of two nearly successful assassination attempts on President Trump. A bullet came within a centimeter of taking his life. We watched in agony and horror as a crazed left-wing terrorist murdered Charlie Kirk just while he's giving a speech, having a debate on a college campus. We watched the United Healthcare CEO get gunned down in cold blood. We saw just days ago a sniper try to take out ICE officers. And what do all of these killers and assassins have in common? They've been radicalized by Democrat Party rhetoric that describes anyone who doesn't share their warped, twisted worldview as fascists, worthy, by implication, of execution. They are using this language to mark people, to put a target on them. And then on top of all of that, what else do they do? When Antifa, when these left-wing terrorists attack our law enforcement, Democrat judges won't put them in jail. Democrat-led police departments refuse to arrest them. Democrat mayors and governors refuse to pursue them. So when violence is openly occurring against the targets that they have named and identified, they will not arrest the violent agitators. And that's why President Trump signed an executive order. It's called a National Security Presidential Memorandum, or NSPM. And that is when you change the formal national security policy of the country. And so President Trump issued an NSPM last week that for the first time ever establishes a national counterterrorism strategy to dismantle these radical left-wing terror groups, including but not limited to Antifa. President Trump's going to find the members, he's going to find the funders, he's going to find the violent terrorists, he's going to find everybody involved in these criminal conspiracies, and one by one, Sean, we're going to dismantle them. Well, the Democrat Party has become a party.
They are going to be dismantled. And speaking of terrorists, we covered Greta Thunberg yesterday. And apparently she's now connected to a Hamas-funded flotilla. Nicole writes, they're dumping plastic and trash straight into the ocean. This is Greta Thunberg's flotilla, proof she's been a complete scam with her climate change circus. This is why she switched to being a terrorist activist.
تفضل هذوما شنو بالضبط؟ هذه مساعدات إنسانية سنرميها في البحر في حالة اعتراضنا من طرف جنود الاحتلال الصهيوني. نتمنى إن شاء الله ستصل. هذه المساعدات متمثلة في حليب الأطفال وأدوية ومواد غذائية أساسية.
So throwing supposed humanitarian aid into the sea there. Here's an update. Just now confirmed Israeli commandos stopped and boarded the lead ship of the global Samud flotilla, the Alma. Its live stream was ended and other ships received warnings from Israeli soldiers threatening arrest and confiscation of those ships. And here we have Randy Weingarten complaining about people getting teachers fired for their disgusting comments after Charlie Kirk's assassination. She says teachers just raised issues about what he had said. She said celebrating his murder is not cool. She needs to resign.
Fire these same people who basically said, how dare you, and tried to fire a whole bunch of teachers who just raised issues about what he had said, not celebrated his murder, which was, is not cool, but raised issues about what he said, tried to get them fired. These same people who basically said, how dare you, and tried to fire a whole bunch of teachers.
Randy Weingarten. Yeah. All those people should be fired. Speaking of getting fired, Governor Pritzker needs to get fired by the voters. Pritzker's obsession with Trump is so bad, he'll light your tax dollars on fire just to fight him. Illini Jen posting this. She writes, you're a billionaire, JB. Use your own money.
Pritzker saying his legal team's ready.
Immediately go to court. We're prepared to do that. Believe me when I tell you that the law is on our side when it comes to keeping troops out of the city and out of the state.
Illinois Republicans say Pritzker's part of the problem.
We've seen these tensions rise here at home, driven at times by our very own governor, who just yesterday called agents jackbooted thugs. He went further, urging Illinoisans to fight with everything we have.
The call-up of 100 not considered large in guard circles and could be mobilized fast.
Usually 48 to 96 hours for a full stand-up.
So you could conceivably have this in place next week if you put the pedal to the metal.
That would be correct.
Back to Governor Pritzker calling for President Trump to be removed from office. We just got a statement from the White House before we came on the air that says, among other things, quote, President Trump is deeply concerned with the safety and security of all Americans, including those in Chicago, and he's stepping in where J.B. Pritzker failed. That's the end of that quote.
And where did J.B. Pritzker fail? We played some of this footage last night. Do we have it here? I thought we had it. Maybe we don't. There was a massive helicopter raid that a helicopter, like 300 agents from multiple agencies stormed an apartment building with Black Hawk helicopters and snipers. And they were going after Trinidad Aragua, who had commandeered the vacant apartments in that building. Here's Nancy Pelosi, absolutely triggered when asked if AOC is taking over the Democrat Party.
The rest of that. It was a
thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any credibility to that?
She's not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real team player and the rest of that. You started by saying Republicans saying that she's directing this. She is not. Hakeem Jeffries is. And this takes a lot of experience, a lot of unity from the caucus in terms of the point of view. And that's what this is. She's an articulate spokesperson for her point of view, Hakeem Jeffries.
There was a thought from the Republicans
she knows her
that
days are numbered, and she knows she has no power. This is that footage I wanted to show you again. Dan Bongino posted it 24 hours ago. He says, "We're not slowing down." And this is the raid that took place in Chicago last night.
There are 6. It's hard to see, but there's a helicopter right there on this building. And that helicopter has just inserted snipers for the protection of all these federal agents you can see entering the building. What they are after, 6 particular individuals associated with Tren de Aragua. They say these individuals are responsible for dealing in guns, long guns and handguns, as well as drugs. The helicopter is now just taken off. This is really an unprecedented show of federal force. Almost 300 agents coming to get control of this building and the people inside.
They detained about 24 people, searching only apartments where no rent was being paid. So far, we don't know if they got the high-value targets they've been tracking. One guy did display a Tren de Aragua tattoo. But the new detainees are being held and processed at this ICE facility in Broadview.
It's hard to see, but...
And speaking of terrorists, Mondami decided to go on The View. And Joy Behar asked, "Trump is attacking you as a communist. Are you?" Well, here's his answer.
Let's quickly tick through all the things that Trump said about you, and let's get that out of the way, all right? Number one, he's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
It means more than that.
Yeah, I think...
You're not a communist. I agree with that.
No, I'm not a communist. And I think, a lot of New Yorkers have asked me, what does it mean that you're a democratic socialist?
Yeah.
And I tell them to think about the words of Dr. King from decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There has to be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. And that's the heart of it.
Okay.
Distribution
Let's
of
tick through all the
wealth.
things that Trump said about...
Yeah, New York's about to just be completely destroyed. And something else here. A suspect attempted to escape. Someone got chased down. Portland police officer attempted to detain the suspect, but completely failed. What is going on here?
I have the police guy following, so we're going to see if anything happens.
Chicago, New York, Portland, all collapsing. Here's the video.
Do not touch me! Yes, JanSport backpack.
Do not touch me.
That one.
Do not touch me.
Her.
Do not touch me. No, I'm not. I am not.
I just said that you are. Stop.
I'm underage. No, do not touch her. Do not touch her. Do not touch me. I am underage.
Wow. Portland PD just, don't touch me, then back off. And the person who was assaulted apparently is maintaining and tracking, following with the camera. Does Portland PD ever show up?
Gotta keep our eyes on them.
Oh, love it. They're going to a protest. Looks like they're going to that ICE facility. Oh, man. Antifa just needs to get shut down. And Donald Trump is doing it. I mean, you just heard what Stephen Miller just said. Here's more. from Mondami on Good Day New York asked if the mayoral candidate was pro-decriminalizing prostitution. After a word salad and Rosanna holding firm, Zoran Mondami admits he's in support of decriminalizing prostitution throughout New York City.
People who live and work about decriminalization of certain crimes, because I think another thing people are concerned about is because the Democrats, socialists are for decriminalizing prostitution. You have a bill in Albany that you're still supporting that would decriminalize prostitution. A lot of people are concerned, especially if you go to Queens, you know, Roosevelt Avenue, the people who live and work around there who have to walk their kids past there are very concerned. Young kids are being prostituted on the streets there.
Oh, so that's where you get the prostitutes in New York. Who knew? They're advertising it, basically.
People are concerned where you stand on that. Where do you divorce yourself from the Democratic Socialists of America?
I can't believe you said
around
that.
there who have to walk their kids past there that you're still supporting that would decriminalize prostitution. A lot of people are concerned, especially if you go to Queens, you know, Roosevelt Avenue, the people who live and work around there who have to walk their kids past there are very concerned. Young kids are being prostituted on the streets there. People are concerned where you stand on that. Where do you divorce yourself from the Democratic Socialists of America?
So the platform that I have is the one that is on my website, ZahranForNYC.com. Those are the things that I am running on. This is a coalition that includes organizations and individuals of a wide variety, all of whom are united on affordability.
Do you support decriminalizing prostitution?
Yes, right now what we see in this moment is we have an approach that is not putting safety first. What we saw with the previous mayoral administration was an end to the raids that we saw on sex workers, an end to prosecutions that were taking place of sex workers themselves. What we have to bring to City Hall is a focus on ending sex trafficking, on ensuring that there is no tolerance for violence against women, and also having safety at the cornerstone of all the policies that we pursue. And when
Okay, so you're basically saying that this is going to end sex trafficking? Nice try, buddy. Because it's still going to happen whether you legalize prostitution or not. Wow. We want to make prostitution safe. What was that they used to say about abortion? Make it legal, safe, and rare or something like that?
Look at the findings of whether it be the World Health Organizations or the United Nations Working Group on the Safety of Girls and Women, we find that decriminalization is one that actually provides the most safety for these sex workers.
I know a lot of people are concerned about decriminalization of certain crimes because I think...
Did you know that anytime these global summits take place, like whether it's World Economic Forum, the United Nations, like prostitution, like just skyrockets in those areas because of all of those diplomats. And looks like Moran Zandami wants to make it legal because he's going to try and end sex trafficking. But of course, it's going to lead to the demise of New York City, just like Portland and Chicago. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, the Democrat Party has become a case study in political self-destruction. When your teachers celebrate violence, your governors waste millions on personal grudges, and your leaders physically lash out during simple questions, you've lost the plot. This isn't just bad politics, it's dangerous. Stephen Miller nailed it. They actively foment violence. From Antifa's protected status in Portland to union bosses defending assassination cheerleaders, the pattern's undeniable. They've traded governance for grievance, leadership for lunacy. While they spiral into chaos, hardworking Americans suffer. The shutdown proves it. They will destroy the country before admitting they're wrong. So the question is brutal, but it's necessary. Can the Democrat Party be saved? Or is it time for it to die? Drop a yes or no in the comments. Their violence and dysfunction threaten every American family. While they melt down, stand up. Check out our Next News merch and show you are part of the solution and not their problem. What's up, Irving? I saw you post that during the segment and track down that view clip from Mandami. Just for you, sir. Mandami will sink New York City if elected. MSN keeps leaving out the socialist part as they refer him as their front Democratic candidate. $72.99, not quite 100 today, but maybe as we close out the show, someone will stop by, because I think we only need about $27 and we'll hit 100 on this early edition of the Next News Network Raw Feed. So, folks, that is the Raw Feed for October 1st, 2025, and what a historic day it's been. We start with the Democrat shutdown. America held hostage because Chuck Schumer wants your tax dollars funding illegal alien health care. Federal workers, military families, seniors, all betrayed while Democrats play radical politics. 2/3 of Americans demand this madness end, but Schumer won't budge. Then we witnessed the birth of a new political weapon, meme warfare. President Trump, wielding Next News Network's viral creations, sent Democrats into complete meltdown. When a sombrero can make a congresswoman shriek on the House floor, you know the old rules of engagement are dead. The establishment can't fight humor with hectoring. They're losing, and they know it. Netflix learned the hard way that parents have limits. Elon Musk's cancellations sparked an avalanche that's crushing their stock price. Turns out Americans won't pay to have their toddlers indoctrinated with trans propaganda. Coco Melon and drag? Not on our watch. Millions are cutting the cord, sending a message that woke entertainment has consequences. And in the victory column, RFK Jr. just forced Walmart to dump toxic dyes from over 1,000 products. 40 years of poisoning our kids with petroleum-based chemicals ending. The food cartel thought they were untouchable. Well, they thought wrong. When parents and patriots unite, even the biggest corporations must bend the knee. And through it all, we watched the Democrat Party spiral into violence and chaos. Teachers cheering assassination attempt governors, burning tax money on vendettas, Pelosi flailing when asked who runs her party, Portland police protecting Antifa thugs. It's not politics anymore. It's a party destroying itself in real time. So to everyone who sent in the super chats and Rumble rants, you guys make this show electric. Irving and Steven and Dan and Jeff and Daddy Cab and Karen. You guys are awesome. Your voices, your passion, your refusal to stay silent, that's what the Raw Feed's about. We read them, we feature them on the show, and the world saw that patriots are wide awake. So tell a friend about the Raw Feed. Share the stream. Text it to everyone who needs to hear the truth. And if you want to wear your support, remember to hit our merch shop. Check it out. Alligator Alcatraz, President Otto Penn, American Badass gear ready to ship. So thank you for joining us on this explosive October 1st. The government's shut down, Netflix is crumbling, big food's retreating, Trump's memeing, and Democrats are self-destructing. If that's not enough news to share with everyone you know, I don't know what is. This is Gary Franchi reminding you that together we're not just watching the news, we are making it. Keep fighting, keep sharing, keep the faith. We'll see you on the next Raw Feed, so stay free, America.